Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Phightins Final here on the Edge of Phillies Sports, a Phillies post-game show. And that's right, do not adjust your TV screens. It is I, Matty B, with the call, or on the call. The prodigal son has returned. Yes, it's been a minute. I've been in and out, up and down, sideways to sideways, but I'm back here to do the Phightins Final. Yes, 11 hours or 7 hours after the game ended, but hey, you got to take me when you can get me, and this was the best I could do, but it's great to be back on the Phightins Final. On the Phillies today, bittersweetness, I guess, is what maybe the theme of today's game is. 6-2 winners over the Detroit Tigers. They take the series over Detroit 2-3. But in the process, they potentially are now adding more, more drama. Spencer Turnbull today had to leave the game after about 3.5 innings due to right shoulder soreness. Test will be ongoing on him going forward. And obviously with the way the rotation has been, which has been the bright spot in the Phillies season in 2024, it was the thing that has been a major bright spot, honestly. And now you move Walker to the bullpen due to ineffectiveness or a blister, whatever they're calling it. And now you're potentially losing Turnbull, who's dealing with, returning from Tommy John in the first place. But maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse with that one. But definitely a little bit of a concern here when it comes to the Phillies rotation, as we are one game now away from the actual midway point of the 2024 season. So we still have literally an entire half a season to play. And now our rotation could potentially be falling into chaos. But more on that later. Let's head now to the game, because the game was, aside from Turnbull, I mean, we got to look at the bad there, right? Turnbull was pitching okay, and then he goes down. But then the bullpen comes in, seven pitchers do their job. And the Philly bullpen comes up big today, preserving the win. And offensively, I mean, what can you say about Brandon Marsh today? The man of the hour, the man of the day, 4 for 4 with a run. 4 RBIs and a big home run there. So, and you get the series win, their 16th series win of the 2024 season. So there's some good things to take out of this game. Resilience, once again, the Phillies found a way to win. When victory was in jeopardy and they were kind of up against it by losing their starting pitcher, the bullpen comes in, 7 pitchers, and they pretty much scatter the rest of the game, and they dominate and they control what has to be done, and they win. Brandon Marsh had a big breakout day, 4 for 4. Good to see that from Brandon. Obviously, we're looking for a little bit more from Brandon Marsh this season. He's been inconsistent, just like everybody else. But today was a good day for him. Trey Turner with the multiple hit day. And all's well that ends well for the Phillies today, 6-2 winners. As, again, they take 2 out of 3. And now we'll return home to start a 4-game set tomorrow against the Florida Marlins, or Miami Marlins, as they are known now to the kids. We're going to talk a little bit about what the effect of this Spencer Turnbull injury will be going forward, and also maybe what the effect of using 7 pitchers today will have on the bullpen going into this Marlins series, as we literally get to the halfway point tomorrow here in the 2024 season. Before we dive more deeper into any of this stuff, let me remind you that this program is brought to you by the fine sponsors over at Sherry's Tickets, Dolan's Bar, Philly Sports Trips, and Cherry Injury Law. That's right. It's not been that long to where I've forgotten the sponsors. But yeah, no, it's great to be back, folks. It's been tough. It's been real tough trying to burn the candle at 17 different ends. I was supposed to host on Sunday. I could not do that. And we were unable to kind of figure out a last-minute replacement. My show last night was canceled due to, again, other obligations that are happening with my life. Or was it Monday night now? I don't even know what night this is. Wednesday, yes. But I'll be back with you tomorrow, or on Friday, actually. I will be back with you tomorrow, too. But hopefully we can wind this up a little bit, and maybe I can get a little bit more out there for you. But let's head over to the box score on this one. 6-2 Phillies winners. Phillies would finish today with 6 runs on 12 hits, no errors. The Tigers, 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Offensively for the Phillies, I already mentioned the 4 for 4 day of Brandon Marsh. Trey Turner, as I mentioned, 2 for 5, but he did have 3 strikeouts. Kyle Schwarber was 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Bryce Harper, 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Nick Castellanos, coming off a big game that he had the other night, did go 1 for 4 today, did score a run, did have an RBI, did walk, did not strike out. Bryson Stott, 1 for 3. David Dahl was 1 for 3, and Garrett Stubbs as well, 1 for 3. Again, the Phillies would scatter 12 hits along the way. The Phillies would leave 8 runners on base, and they would go 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They also stole a base, and they grounded into 1 double play. Pitching-wise, Spencer Turnbull, the story of the day, leaving after 3 innings. He gave up a hit, a run. It was earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a home run. And you got to think he was really, really, really excited about facing the Detroit Tigers today. A lot of drama there with his exit from Detroit. Felt that the team was not treating him fairly as he was battling massive amounts of injuries. But you have an opportunity to come back today, and then potentially, hopefully not. He leaves the game injured, and let's hope it's not something that Tommy John stuff. But yeah, I said it. Yeah, right. Everyone's thinking it. Why can't we say it? But Turnbull, bad luck for him today. Probably was really amped up. Maybe that was the reason why he got hurt. Maybe he was overthrowing. Maybe he was living off of adrenaline. I don't know. Greg Soto, a former Tiger himself, came in, pitched an inning, and had 2 strikeouts. Ruiz, Strom, Kerkering, Hoffman, and Alvarado all pitched for the Phillies today, as the bullpen really was the star of the day. The only one that really didn't pitch today was Sir Anthony? Was he the only one that did not get in because he pitched last night? But they would do the job, as they would strike out 7 collectively. They would only give up 2 earned runs. And they'd only give up 4 hits as a staff. So kudos to the Philly pitching staff, as they had to kind of have an everybody effort today in order to get the win. For the Tigers, Matt Verlaine, former Philly, was 2 for 4 with 2 runs, RBI, and he did have a homer. And then it was when you only have 4 hits, there's really not much more to talk about. And the only one with a hit was Keith, the third baseman, and Ibanez, the pinch hitter. So that's it. That's all she wrote, as the Philly bullpen, as I said, came in and did a really Herculean job. The Tigers would leave 3 on base. They would also go 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. They had themselves no stolen bases. They were picked off once, and caught stealing once. And McKinstry grounded also into a double play. Their pitching, Holton lasted an inning and a half. He gave up 4 hits. It was a run. It was earned, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Vest, Montero, who gets the loss. Wentz also pitched for the Tigers. The Phillies, Ruiz got the win on this one, by the way. Scoring summary, Castellanos would get things happening for the Phillies early on in the top of the first inning when he would ground out to shortstop scoring Kyle Schwarber to make it 1-0. Matt Verlaine would get things going for the Tigers in the bottom of the first, as he would homer to tie things up. And then Brandon Marsh, the big shot in the 4th inning, a 2-run jack to make it 3-1 Phillies. Marsh would then single in Castellanos and Stott in the 5th to make it 5-1. David Dahl would sac fly in Stott in the 8th to make it 6-1. And Ibanez would get a late run there for the Tigers in the 9th as he would knock in Verlaine and make it 6-2. But that's all she wrote for the Tigers today, as they fall to the Phillies 6-2. And again, is it bittersweet, right? You had some positives. You had some real positives. Brandon Marsh's day and the Philly bullpen. And now you also have to factor in a negative with potentially a rotation in flux, as we've lost 2 starting pitchers in the last week. So it's interesting. Daniel Berry, what's up, man? Always nice to win a series. It is, and it's been nice for 16 times now, elephant in the room, as the Phillies won their 16th series of the season. 16 series in less than a half a season of play. Pretty impressive. Phillies now move on. Was it 53 wins now for the Phillies? So, yeah. Again, we got to take these things one game at a time. And as we get ready to wrap up the first half tomorrow in the opener against the Marlins, obviously it's been a very positive first half of the season, but there is so much more baseball left. It's almost to the point where it is at the point where you start over at game 82. It's the second half. So I know a collapse may not be imminent and whatnot, but the Phillies are definitely being tested right now. And losing 2 starting pitchers, regardless of who they are, regardless if it was Taiwan, ineffective Walker, or Spencer pitch count or innings count Turnbull, still, these are 2 quality, or these are 2, I shouldn't say quality when I talk to Taiwan Walker, but these are 2 Major League Baseball arms. Now, Michael Machado, the recently called up Lehigh Valley Iron Pig, who we've talked about on this program, and we've highlighted him a few times on our Down on the Farm segment. By the way, we will actually do the Down on the Farm segment tonight. the one that was supposed to be done on Sunday by me. I have it here, and we're going to run through it. It's a little late, but you know what? We'll suspend reality for it. But Michael Machado, who was brought up just a couple days ago, will probably be the fifth starter. They'll probably move him into that position. And this is, again, where the depth of this team is going to be tested. But as far as in putting a new fifth starter, you would much rather have to do that than try to find a new ace or try to find a new number 3. I mean, the 5 position, there are quality people out there that can fit that bill. You know, the Phillies have a couple minor league pitchers that could probably do that, and Machado is going to have the first crack at it. But again, a good news story that Spencer Turnbull was could potentially be, you know, a nightmare here, right? But let's head over now back to the big board because I don't want to get off too far off schedule. And let me just talk a little bit about Dolan's down there at 24 East Sellers Ave in Ridley Park for Quizzo, music, great times, memorabilia, giveaways. It is Dolan's. Make sure you head down there and tell PJ and the gang that we sent you here from EOP. And looking for the best deal in tickets? Look no further than Sherry's Ticket Town. Great price, no hidden fees for concert, sports, theater tickets. www.sherrystickets.com. You save an additional 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. That is sherrytickets.com. All right. So let's head now. Let's jump into some Broad Street bottom line. I think we should do that. All right, your Broad Street bottom line tonight for me, Matty B. Again, it's resilience. You know, we've talked about this all season long, and it can't be overlooked. As critical as we've been, or I've been, on certain aspects of this team, you also have to be very appreciative of certain aspects of this team right now, and that is the resilience, and it's been tested all season long. And now, here we go. We got another one. If it wasn't Trey Turner going down, if it wasn't JT Realmuto going down, if it wasn't Brandon Marsh going down there for a bit, now we're adding Walker, now we're adding Turnbull. I mean, it just keeps kind of coming, and now this is where the depth of the team is being tested, and so far so good. I went on a rant not too long ago about how I thought that the JT injury was probably the most significant out of all these injuries, and I still kind of feel that way. But when now you're adding in pitching, and now we've lost 2 pitchers. Now Walker will probably be miraculously recovered from his blister probably sooner than later if they can. But whether or not they actually trust him to go back into that role as the fifth starter, they may not have much of a choice. But still, there's an option there. There's an option with Walker. It may not be the option people want. It may not be the most pleasant option. We've talked about this. He's pitching as a 5, but being paid as a 3. But now you have that option there. You also have now the option of trying out some younger arms. Michael Machado is going to be given an opportunity. Or Mikado, I don't know how you say it, but he's going to be given an opportunity probably to be the fifth starter on this team. And then now maybe this opens the door for a potential Mick Abel opportunity, which I don't know if that's going to happen. Mick Abel's sporting about an 11 ERA now with the Iron Pigs, but it opens up the door for some of these prospects and some of these pitchers that have earned an opportunity to maybe get a start here. So we keep saying it's a good problem to have, that we've always said that, when so-and-so gets healthy and what are we going to do with this guy? That's a good problem to have. That's a good problem. Injuries are never a good problem to have. Never. They're never a good problem to have. But understanding what your depth is and understanding what your potential is with your team, and I mean at all levels of your organization, is absolutely a good thing. And now here we are with another crossroads event when it comes to the pitching staff. We lose another pitcher. The second one in a week. And now we're going to have to turn the ball over to somebody else, at least for the interim, and see what they can do. So resilience has been the key. And if you want me to rank how I felt this season has gone so far and what were the more significant factors that have led to the Phillies' resurgence so far in 2024, I say starting pitching is number 1 and resilience is being number 2. I think a lot of us have been pleasantly surprised about how resilient this team has been. I didn't expect it. I obviously didn't expect it. When you lose a player like Trey Turner, you're supposed to drop off a little bit, but they didn't. When you lose a player like Brandon Marsh for a little bit of time, when you lose now, 2 starting pitchers, you're supposed to not continue on this way. But so far, so good for the Phillies as they continue to navigate through this season. It's a kick in the junk to lose Turnbull. And obviously with his history, it doesn't look good, right? With his history, it doesn't seem like it's going to work out well for both the Phillies or him. But now we get to turn the page to a different side and see what somebody else can have. And so far, it's worked out for the Phillies. So keep being resilient because, again, resiliency builds champions because you're tested and you have to battle, you have to fight, and you find your way through it. So it's a good problem to have, and I hate to say that, but having your resiliency tested is definitely a good problem to have. And the Phillies are being tested right now with their resilience. So there you go. There you go. That was my Broad Street Bottom Line here on the show. And don't forget, everybody, the Broad Street Bottom Line on tonight's program was brought to you by the good folks over at Cherry Injury Law, workman's compensation, motor vehicle accident, criminal law, and personal injury. Give Dave Cherry a call at 610-565-0300 or reach him at www.cherryinjurylaw.com. All right. Good stuff, man. Now let's head on around the bases. All right, we're here around the bases on this Wednesday evening. Let's start with some of the games that are still ongoing. It is 11-2, Mets all over the Yankees in the bottom of the 8th in Queens. It is 8-1 Twins over the Diamondbacks in the desert in the bottom of the 6th. And it is 4-3 Giants over the Cubs in the bottom of the 6th out in the Bay. Games that have gone final was the Mariners over the Rays 5-2, the Pirates over the Reds 6-1, the Braves over the Cardinals 6-2, 7-1 Astros winners over the Rockies. It was 5-1 Royals over the Marlins, 6-5 Brewers over the Rangers in 10, and it was 5-2 Angels over the A's. It was 8-5 Padres over the Nationals. The Orioles 4-2 winners over the Guardians. The Blue Jays and the Red Sox game was suspended. What the hell was it suspended for? Possibly weather. It was 4-1 Cardinals over the Braves. By the way, that game against the Blue Jays and Red Sox will resume tomorrow. Oh, no, resume at 2 o'clock on August 26th. Interesting. 4-1 Cardinals over the Braves, so we picked up more ground over the Braves today. And it was 4-0 Dodgers over the White Sox. And there you go. There's your round the bases on this Wednesday night around Major League Baseball. And as you mentioned, we are at the halfway point, and we're getting to that point. Tomorrow will be literally game 81, and then it'll be time for me to begrudgingly look at the standings because no, you know what? I'm going to wait to the All-Star break. I'm sorry. Jumped the gun there. I'm going to wait to the All-Star break, but the time's coming where we're going to start looking at things. And with the Phillies winning again and the Braves losing again, obviously it's a good thing. But yeah, we're getting into that part of the season now where we're going to start looking at things a little bit more intently. And speaking of intently, don't forget tomorrow, I mentioned the 4-game set with the Marlins starting at the bank. It'll be me back with the call tomorrow night. I told you you're going to be getting a lot more of me, hopefully, in the next couple of days. And then Friday night it will be Pat back on the show, and then Sal on Saturday, and there you have me again on Sunday. So trying to work myself back in, man. It is hard. God, there's not enough hours in a day. But I also will be coming at you on Friday night as we are putting the finishing touches. I'm glad you, or I'm sure you watched the NBA draft coverage we had here on EOP earlier tonight. I mean, within the last, hour they finished. Well, we're going to come at you on Friday night with our coverage of the NHL draft. That's right. First round coverage of the NHL draft from Vegas on Friday night, June 28th, around 7 p.m. The Clear the Ice crew, at least some of us, will be reassembled for that show, and we're going to talk NHL draft. It'll be me and Big Al, I think, pretty much. And we're going to talk some NHL draft, kind of get you ready for what the Flyers and what the rest of the National Hockey League may look like in 2024 and 25. So make sure you're tuned in for that on Friday night. More to come on that. But it's as I said, it's been rough. If you only knew what I've been into, you would definitely have sympathy for me, or maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. But I know I don't have too many staunch friends here. But anyway. But yeah, so hopefully I'm working my way back in. But it's been tough. So I told you on Sunday I was supposed to host this show. I was, and I just could not. Kept getting delayed, kept getting pushed back, could not get here Could not get on the air. So I missed the Down on the Farm segment, and I hate that because I spent a lot of time putting this thing together. So I am going to give you this week's Down on the Farm, or last week's Down on the Farm, or Sunday's Down on the Farm here on Wednesday. A little bit late, but not too late. So let's head on down to the Phillies farm where we take a look at all levels of the Phillies farm system. Well, not all levels. We don't go into the Dominican Summer League, but we're focused on the 5 major levels of the Phillies farm system, and some of the players that are kind of making names for themselves, and some of the actions of the teams as well from the past week. So let's start our journey with the Florida Complex League Phillies rookie ball, as they used to call it back when I was a kid. The position player of the week is Eduardo Tate, the catcher. 4 games, 15 at bats, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 homers, and 7 RBIs. That was in a week, in 4 games. That's what his numbers were in a week. He's a 17-year-old phenom. Obviously, when you're looking at catching, and I'm big on Logan O'Hoppe, you'll hear me rant along about Logan O'Hoppe all the time. But this kid is probably about 4 years away, maybe even a little bit more than that. But he is definitely the real deal. 17 years old. Probably won't be in the rookie league much longer. I would expect him to be on his way to Clearwater, very soon. And potentially even above that. I don't know. But he is definitely, piqued my interest and my attention for what the Phillies catching position might look like in 3 or 4 years. But he was your position player of the week for the FCL Phillies. Your pitcher of the week was Juan Armente. 1 game, no wins. He went 5, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, and 5 strikeouts. Let's head on up to low A ball, which is in Clearwater. And your position player. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back down to the FCL Phillies. I'm skipping over that. They were 1-5 for the week last week. 19 overall, 19-16. So, kind of finding their way somewhat. Up to Clearwater now for low A. Your position player of the week. Guess what? It's another catcher, Caden Hedinger. 4 games, 16 at bats, 3 hits, 2 runs, a homer, and 4 RBIs for yet another Phillies catching prospect. Your pitcher of the week was Mavis Graves. A game, he won it. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, and 10 strikeouts. For the week, Clearwater was 5-1, and now in the season they are a healthy 20 games over 500 at 44-24. They have also won. I shouldn't say they won, but they finished the first half of the Florida State League at 43-23 in first place. For those of you who don't know how minor league playoffs work, what they do is they cut up the season in 2 halves. And the first half winner will play divisionally, I should say. The first half winner will play the second half winner, and that is how you get the playoffs. So Clearwater is in the playoffs. They have clinched a playoff spot this season. So good. They are the first half champions of their division in the Florida State League. So they are on their way to the playoffs in 2024. So congratulations to them. Up now to high A in Jersey Shore, and guess what? That's right, another catcher. Jordan Disson, 4 games, 12 at-bats, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, and 3 RBIs. Now, this is also Eduardo Tate back there at the FCL Phillies and Jordan Disson. This is their second straight weeks appearing as your position players of the week. So far we've talked about 3 levels of Philly minor league baseball, and all 3 levels have had catchers as the position players of the week. Very promising indeed. Your pitcher was Samuel Algarnetti, Algarhuri. Al, teach me how to pronounce that. 1 game, no win. No, he didn't win any games. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, and 9 strikeouts. This is Algarretti's 3rd time as our pitcher of the week for the Clearwater Threshers. They were 5-1 for the week, and now not Clearwater. I'm sorry, Jersey Shore. They were 5-1 for the week, and now 39-28 for the season. Up now at Double A, you got your position player of the week is Marcus Lasang. The center fielder had 5 games, 22 at-bats, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, and 5 ribbies. Your pitcher of the week was Robinson Pena, making his 4th appearance as your pitcher of the week. A game, a win, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, and he struck out 5. The Phightins were 2-3 for the week, now 30-37, as they're getting their feet under them a little bit, been playing better as of late. So there you have the Phightins. And then we finish our journey at AAA with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Weston Wilson, that's right, that Weston Wilson. He's listed as a second baseman. 5 games, 16 at-bats, 7 hits, 6 runs, 4 homers, and 9 RBIs last week. Wow. Your pitcher of the week is Tyler Phillips. He had a game, no wins. Was 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, and 7 strikeouts. The Pigs were 4-2 on the week, now 33-39 on the season, as they once again are also getting their feet a little bit under them, than playing better as of late. But yeah, so there you have it. Your journey around the Phillies farm system on the Down on the Farm segment that usually comes at you on Sundays, but here I am on Wednesday. So don't judge me. Let's take a look at some of these. Tate is nasty. He's only 17. Yeah, and elephant in the room. I know you've heard me say it, and I've belabored the point that I really don't. I don't like I on the surface, I guess, didn't like our catcher depth in the system. But when you look at as I mentioned, the first 3 levels of minor league kind of reviews over the week, all 3 position players in the minor leagues, players of the week, if you will, are all catchers, and that's very good. And that's very, very good. And then Eduardo Tate is going to be, I think, again, it's going to take a little bit. He's about 3 or 4 years, maybe even more. He's only 17. He could be definitely the next heir apparent to JT Realmuto. Hard to do what he's doing during the stateside debut. Yeah, he's been playing really well. Phil's developed catchers, I guess. LOL. I guess they do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Logan Hoppy's just one of many that they develop along the way. But very promising indeed for the Philly farm system. So as you mentioned, that was your Phillies Down on the Farm segment, and that was brought to you by the folks over at Philly Sports Trips. The Pittsburgh trip, I believe, is sold out. I can't keep track of all this stuff. Is this sold out? I don't know. I know Wrigley's sold out. They got the Eagles stuff out. Flyer stuff's going to be coming soon as their schedule will drop next month. So make sure you head over to www.phillysportstrips.com today so you don't miss the next great thing. So you don't become the next great thing. I got nothing tonight, man. I am running on empty, man. But head over to Philly Sports Trips today and check out all they have to offer. And then let's wrap this up with our main man, Dave Cherry. If you have any workman's compensation, personal injury, motor vehicle accident, or criminal law questions, call Dave at 610-565-0300 today, and he'll straighten you out. Straighten you out the best way he can. All right, 6-2 Phillies winners. They win the series. 17th series win of the year. They are now, 53? What is it? 53-26? Yeah, 53-27. 13-9 now for the month of June. Not what we remember June's to be, but you know what? 4 games over 500 I will take. We still got some time. We got a series coming up against the Marlins. I could get that up a little bit, but 13-9 now in the month of June. 80 games played now. Can you believe we're 80 games into the season? 80 friggin' games. And, wow. So, we got, it's just amazing to me that it goes by so fast. But we're almost at the halfway. Literally, we're 1 game away from the halfway point. So the Phillies will enter that halfway point tomorrow at the bank as they return for a 4-game set with the Miami Marlins. Trevor Rogers will be going for Miami, and he'll be opposed by the ace, Zach Wheeler. So that's a 6:40 start time. Am I right about that? 6:40? 6:20. Damn. 6:20 start time tomorrow. Jesus. Don't even let your dinner digest. You got to sit down and watch baseball. I hate that, man. It's summertime. What else you going to do, man? Put them on at 7:05 where they belong. I mean, why are we so... Come on, there's nothing wrong with watching baseball at 10 o'clock at night. Absolutely nothing. I don't know why we're jacking around with these start times. But 6:20 tomorrow, the Phillies will start a 4-game set at Citizen Bank Park against the Marlins, as they will literally get to the halfway point, game 81. And we have you covered here on the Edge of Philly Sports for this series and every other series. And I'll be back. That's right, Matty B. We're back on the call tomorrow night, hopefully at a more respectable time after the game ended. And I got you Thursday. Pat's back on Friday, Sal on Saturday, and I will wrap you up on Sunday. And don't forget, I will also be seeing you on Friday, along with Big Al, where we'll be doing the first round of the NHL draft this season. So kind of jumping off the NFL draft, kind of jumping off the NBA draft, and now we're going to rock you in some NHL draft. And then we got the MLB draft coming in mid-July. So it ain't stopping here, folks. In EOP, you don't get an opportunity to kind of dictate a lot of things. You just got to jump in and hold on and enjoy the ride, man. And just keep your feet and your hands inside the car at all times, or you might end up like me. But I would not have it any other way, folks. I would not have it any other way. Phillies 6-2 winners tonight. Return home now for a 4-game set against the Marlins. It's going to be an interesting series, as I mentioned. What are the ramifications of using 7 pitchers tonight, if any? We anticipate Zach Wheeler to go deep. He usually does. But what happens if he can't? Then where are we? So we'll wait and see how all that stuff plays out. Lots of stuff, a bunch of stuff here on the network. You guys, I don't have the graphics, so you already know who you need to go see and watch. That's everybody. Make sure you're tuned in at all times. I will be back with you guys tomorrow night as we will talk Phillies Marlins. Until then, go Phils. You guys have a good night.